I've looked basically through the file. I mean, you got a pretty hefty file. It's a good file.
Yeah.
So what you have is your spaces. You have a marker. Okay. Let me go back and find that.
Yeah, we got this that says everything is paid in full.
Well, this is a good faith estimate.
So it says
This-
paid in
yep,
full.
that's paid.
For the two in here. Paid in full.
The embalming, all that's paid.
Open and closures.
Open and closing
paid
is
in full.
paid. And the VA marker, I guess, has been paid
Yeah.
for yours. Your husband, of course, gets his marker
For
actually
husband.
for free. Husband, that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah, but that would be for her.
Mhm.
That would be her marker
Right.
plus the granite base and the install. Okay, so what you did with Mr. Will is you only did two things with him. You bought a guest book with thank you cards, acknowledgement cards, and all that, and you bought what we call,
No, we
because you don't
didn't.
have it on yours. You don't have a guest book or thank you cards, so you bought that little package.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and that would be the personal collection, which would be $395. Would be a guest book, leather-bound guest book, pictures in it, and all that kind of stuff. So it's customized to you and your or to your family. But also we have an outer burial container.
The vault.
The vault has to be installed, and that costs $300.
Now,
so
why
the only,
isn't that included in all this?
I don't
Because
know.
it was paid in full.
Back here, when was this done?
2015.
15. I don't know why they didn't do it. We've been including that for years. Now, back in the early 2000s, we didn't until it happened, until the death occurred, because we didn't have a guaranteed cost, but we do now. Okay. I don't know why it wasn't done then. Tony is an experienced counselor, but she didn't. But that's a cost that we have to, that is incurred now, no matter what. Okay,
So
it wasn't
when
on
it
any
says
paperwork. The vault is paid for. The vault
Yeah.
is included.
But doesn't it say,
The installation of the vault is not included. No.
Okay.
but when it's paid up, it's paid up?
Yeah.
Well, what's paid up is the vault,
Yeah.
the
So you
caskets.
want me to just lay out there in the vault and,
No, the casket's paid for.
yeah,
But the vault has to be installed, and that's the $300 fee.
that's so crazy when it's paid up.
That piece
Opening
wasn't
and
paid up.
closing.
Opening and closing is paid. That's when we actually go in there with heavy equipment, dig the hole, get all our permits that we have to do in order to bury a human remain. We have the tent chairs are set up, and even if you didn't want the tent and chairs, you're still going to pay the same price. It's just all the other stuff that we do in order to prepare the grave site, the manpower, all the other liabilities that are included in that. The vault set fee, on the other hand, is the same situation. We have to use heavy equipment and manpower in order to lower the vault. The vault weighs
Yeah.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And so it takes equipment to do that. That is the cost, the $300 cost for that. So he wasn't charging you inadvertently just to get money from you. He really wasn't. I know Will. I've helped train him a little bit. He's a good guy. He really is. And I'm speaking in defense of him because I like the guy.
Okay.
And I know you don't really know him that well. But what he is charging you, if you didn't want the guest book, he probably wouldn't have put it in here. But the guest book is part of a funeral process. When you have your funeral in here, people sign guest books and are handed out the memorial folders
They
and all
like
that
to
kind
do
of
that.
stuff.
Yeah, everybody wants to do that.
Yeah.
So you know
that-
I was there.
Yeah. So that's what he charged you for, the $395 plus the $300 for the vault set fee.
So then why didn't they say that? Why'd they put it on the insurance?
Yeah, we should have got a receipt that said that.
Here's your receipt. This is part of the product, came over the internet. This is how the insurance works. We collect the money via computer, whatever, a credit card or a,
Now, why did
Check,
you just
number check.
mention insurance? We never heard the word insurance. Why did you just mention?
because that's how we fund all our pre-arrangements. It's part of a funeral. And the opening, closing of the grave can be part of the funeral, the vault set fee and the thank you cards, the guest book and all that's part of a funeral arrangement.
Okay.
And we can do that. That's the
Because,
only
I
way.
mean, they paid, like 30 years ago, they paid the biggest
Yep.
amount, and then they paid
Yep,
a
and then-
little bit more since.
And at the time of your passing, there's still death certificates. If you want an obituary, those will be incidentals that you'll have to pay as well.
Yeah.
So, but he,
We
honestly,
just
you'll,
went through it with our son, so,
beg your pardon?
we just went through it with our
Oh,
son,
I'm sorry.
so,
I'm so sorry.
yeah. And
I
of course,
can't
that we
imagine
couldn't
it.
do anything ahead of time, that was,
Yeah.
he was 22, so,
Oh,
so,
I'm so sorry to hear that. Are you local? You live locally?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, what he charged you were normal costs that we would have charged anybody. It's not like we were trying to get your money, it really wasn't.
But that was such a shock to get this thing through the
This
mail.
is the
and that's
thing that
part of-
screwed
that's
us all
the
up.
insurance company, since you paid it all up, if something were to happen to you tomorrow, God forbid, this is paid up, you're gonna get all this stuff. This is done. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have
And
to.
we
no
kinda knew
payments.
that, we didn't
Yeah.
like it, afterwards we thought, that should never have happened, but he, you know, we had a good time with him and signed that, but then when this came, this
Yeah.
is,
That's part of it's just the papaperwork
but if you
that
read
fulfills
this
it. I know
sounds,
it's a legal document, and you need to be almost, are you a lawyer? You almost need to be a lawyer to understand legal documents like insurance
Oh, a
policies.
little fine print, we didn't read, you
Yeah.
know, we just did it, and then I said, we probably shouldn't have paid that if it's already paid, but
But
Those
this
two-
thing sounds
Those two
like
items were
that-
not paid.
but there's nothing else she has to pay, right? She's done paid.
Unless there's incidentals like the death certificates at the time of death, or
Cause this thing sounds like it's a premium, yearly annual premium.
You paid it off. You paid the $695 all at once, so you don't pay that again at all, ever.
oh, it looks like you have to pay it every year.
No, not at all.
So what is this thing? Is this something you normally work with?
That's something we usually give out to our families. Just stuff that we hand out to our families, and they can use it for putting stuff in. And
But that
now,
letter-
you got this in the
Legal
mail, didn't you?
contract,
You got
yeah.
this in the mail, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, this was sent from the insurance company with that information in it. And that just means the insurance company is holding this money. So funeral homes and people of the wrong nature can't spend it. So they hold the money. When you die, we get the money to fulfill this obligation. Okay? So we're not spending the money except on you when you
Is there
pass
any way
away.
you can write this on paper for me, that everything's paid, and that we paid I don't have any proof that we paid for doing the whatever, the vault.
Yeah, we didn't get any kind of receipt.
Well, that was back in
If you can make a copy
the
of that.
19-somethings.
No, I
No,
mean
that's
that
the
we
last
just
thing.
did.
Yeah.
Can we
I'll
make
give
a
you-
copy of that?
I'll make you a copy. This is yours if you want it. 'cause
Oh,
I've
all
got
right.
I've got copies.
I just
Okay.
want proof that
In
we
fact-
did pay it, cause he didn't give us anything.
And we generally don't because
No.
and the reason is because we're doing paperless kind of sort of right now.
Yeah.
And
We thought she
everything.
would get an email that said what she paid for, and she didn't get any email.
Well, this should have been on your email if you have an email address. It should be in your email somewhere.
Oh,
No. we
And
never
but here's
got
how to access it. Some people
yeah.
Oh,
you have
it might
it's
have
called
went to
Beacon.
spam or something.
It might have. It's called Beacon Services. That's where it would have been. An email sent from Beacon Services, and the way you access it,
She deletes everything the day
Hey.
she gets it.
believe me, like that phone there, I don't answer half the phone calls that I get. But here's how this works. The Beacon Services sends you a copy of this, of all the paperwork that you signed, even though it was only $700. They send you a copy of this whole contract. I'm gonna write paid in full across here, so you don't have to worry about it. And this is you take this home with you, put that in there.
So everything's paid except for the normal things that come up at that time, you know, if we
Correct.
ask for obituaries and those
We
kind-
have an
Now, let me-
hour before the service is all we want. We don't want night before. That's
And
on,
that's fine. That's a
Something.
viewing. That's still, if you paid for it, you paid for it. And that will be a discussion you'll have at the time of need with the funeral director. So when you pass away,
Right, right.
you'll be here saying, well, we only want an hour.
Yeah.
Or you could say, I want 5 hours. No big deal. You
Yeah.
know, you paid for that service. You've paid for the embalming. You've paid for whatever other services. You paid for a guest book. That's all going to be here.
okay.
I'm going to write paid in full. That's my initials right there. I'm gonna give you my card.
Oh, that looks like a doctor or
Yeah, well,
lawyer or something.
I can read
Yeah,
that. I
'cause I
can't
got,
read a doctor's.
I got Will's card.
Yeah,
here.
Will, you can't understand Will's writing at all.
No.
I'm telling you.
She always pays with a check, so
Mhm.
she had a hard time even with that because she used it.
I used my
Card,
card because he wouldn't take my check.
He said he couldn't take a check. So,
Ooh.
so that already put a little question in her mind. But
Well, we do, I don't know why he said that, because you can take a check. You just type it in, type in the check information and the total amount. But hey, it doesn't,
Don't matter, it's done.
it's over with, but
I don't think it was Dignity when we did this, right? Back in 19 whatever?
1990 is when we became Dignity. Now, I've been here since 06. So before that, I don't know what kind of philosophy they had. I know it was always Dignity.
Oh,
But,
okay.
companies, large corporations like that change their philosophy every so often and change their way of doing things. So back in 96, we didn't sell the insurance. We didn't start selling the insurance till 08, 09. So the insurance is not new to us anymore, obviously, but it's not something that we haven't done for 12, 13 years here at Dignity Memorial. But now this, when your first, Nancy, your first pre-arrangement here with Kim Gill, I can tell by her handwriting.
When was it?
Kim Gill, it
When
was
did we do it?
07.
That's the
We
first.
didn't do insurance then.
Yeah.
And this was done on what we call a trust. You paid on it for 60 months and you were done. When you pass away, our funeral director will pull this and this will all be on the contract, okay? The funeral director will come in and sit down, and on the computer will show you what kind of casket you got, what kind of vault you're getting, and all that kind of stuff. And they'll go over stuff that we didn't have options for back then, like a catered reception. All that kind of stuff you could get if you wanted it. The guest book you would have had to get then anyway, and it might be $495 when you need it. You got today's price, no matter how long you live when you need it. So with that, the funeral director will go over everything, logistics. We can't go over logistics now because we don't know dates and times, obviously. So when the funeral director meets with you after either you or your husband passes, then you'll come in and you'll talk to the funeral director. You'll go over everything that you've got and everything that you need if you need anything. If you need anything, it's probably just going to be incidentals, what we call cash advances, which we couldn't put on there anyway, even if we
I
wanted
need
to.
a date on it.
A what? A date? You're not letting me get away with anything, are you? That's fine. I'm just messing with you. 7.
I've been having chest pain today.
she
because-
was so upset about this, and I said,
Well,
it's,
she sounded upset on the
Probably
phone when
nothing.
we talked, and I'm
well, this thing sound like I still don't understand the insurance. If you pay for everything, well, how does insurance have anything to do with it?
because they hold our money. They hold the money that you give us. When you die, we access that money through the insurance policy that you purchased for $690. The same way we will access this money through the state. This is not an insurance policy, but the money is being held by a trust that the state has set up for your safety, your protection, and for our protection too, because it keeps us from using the money for something else and then not having it for you when you pass away. Them holding this money, whether it's in a trust or in an insurance policy, guarantees the use of that money when you pass away. Okay? That's all that is. It's taking the risk out of us and protects you all.
Okay, but you gotta write that on there that we paid for.
I just wrote paid in full here.
Yeah, but that don't
I
help
didn't
me.
fill this out. I did not fill this out, so I'm not
Can
signing
you write that
this.
on here?
I can write this
That-
paid in full, but I can't write this.
Does this say that it's
Only
for
what you have in here.
installing the vault?
That's install the vault and the
That's-
guest book.
That's what that says?
That's on those pages right there. This is just the one page. If you look on page 4 of that page right there, that page right there
This will
says,
say.
yep, $300 for the vault installation and $395 for they call it
Personal collection.
personal collection, yeah, which is the guest
okay.
book, the thank you cards. The
All right.
memorial package is what we call it also.
Okay.
Okay. I still need you to sign it, right?
I signed right there. There's 4 pages of the
You
are
want
for-
that to
in
go
one.
with this,
It will, if you want me to staple it, I can.
cause I'm a
Oh,
wreck.
it's here, right, Mom? It says 695 here.
Yep. So
Okay.
300 plus 395.
You understand why I'm a wreck?
Well, I'm trying to calm your heart right now, and you don't need to be.
Yeah.
You do not need
Because
to be.
this other letter in here says.
It says that if you don't pay it again a year from now,
I think
that
that-
everything defaults to you.
No, that's a general,
And that there's
contract
no more
paperwork.
funeral. It says cancel your
You
funeral.
cancel the funeral.
if you were making payments, that's what would happen.
Oh.
If you were making payments and quit making payments on it, it's canceled. It automatically gets canceled. That's any insurance policy does
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
If you start an insurance policy, whether it's $100,000 or $5 million, you start your monthly payments. Now, if it's a $5 million policy, you probably just pay it up if you got that kind of money. But if you're just making monthly payments and you miss 3 payments,
Yeah. Yeah.
the next payment you've lapsed. If you miss the next payment, you've lapsed it, and you lose what you put into it.
Okay.
So, Nancy,
She's never made a
thank you.
payment on anything ever. She
Well,
always
I-
pays everything.
Well, that's the way you did that too, which was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at that point, if you were making payments on that, you might pay $750 or $800 as opposed to $695.
Yeah, we
Because-
talked about that with Will, actually.
Yeah. Because of the risk.
Yeah,
If something
she
happened
never
to
does.
you while you're paying for it, they have a right to go into your medical records and see if you lied on your application or anything like that about medical questions or whatever. So that protects you from that.
But I was gonna come and lay down on my plot that I bought and die and haunt you the rest of your life.
Well, you would be haunting Will because I hope to be retired by the time you have
Oh,
to-
look at that.
I
See?
also do,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Okay.
I gave
well,
you my card, right?
Yeah,
I did, okay.
I think. You get
I
cards?
gave I gave somebody a card, I think.
I put it somewhere.
So you have 12 of these. I like this one. It's really quaint. And
Yeah, yeah.
It seems small. And
It's very family oriented.
Yeah.
Well,
it is
you
small.
wanna see
Yeah.
the room?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you the room.
Where we will have the
Oh,
service.
yeah, yeah.
You don't,
This little
you said
chapel
you
right
didn't.
in there.
I mean,
Yeah, we have large. We're the smallest of all the
Small.
yeah, this
12.
is the
This is
small
the
one.
smallest. But we
When Will called, it sounded like that he was just coming over to, because you were putting a lot of the old paperwork onto data files and just coming over to check and make sure everything was
Mm-hmm.
set up. And so I thought, well, I'm going to be handling everything, so,
So you might as well check it out.
That'd be good to.
well, so
to
and
do
that's
that.
and that's our philosophy. We're trying to
And so then
get
it looked
people
like.
caught up.
So when this came, I said, "No, Mom, they're just trying to sell you something. There's an application in here and all this stuff." But that's not what that is.
No,
It's
that's
not trying
a
to sell
paid.
you
That's
something.
no, that's the official paperwork that you would have only gotten by signing and paying for what you did at the time.
And so if we canceled it, then we wouldn't get the book and all that. Then,
Correct. You'd have
all
to pay
that
it at the
stuff.
time of death.
yeah,
But you can't cancel it. You already paid it.
yeah, no, because they need $300 to put the thing in the ground.
Yeah. And something for somebody to sign when they come and visit you.
And I don't want any pictures on the memorial. Don't let them do that.
Okay.
I'm ugly. I don't
She's
want.
gonna fight
Oh,
for
you're a
everything.
beautiful woman.
I don't
You're
want
beautiful.
that. Yeah, I came for you to say that.
No, I know you didn't, but
Okay.
She's really a sweetie usually.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
got-
she hasn't slept 2 days now
No.
because she's so upset
Because of
since
this.
this came.
please rest assured, take my word, you're in good hands. You really are. And I appreciate you coming so we got this cleared up for you.
Okay, because so much was put on us that night. We forgot that that's what he said, right? He did say the book and the stuff, and but then we
But
thought,
then
well,
this. Well,
And a lot of times when we do file reviews like this for people, just like in your situation, the reason we do it is because when somebody buys a plot, just a plot, maybe a casket, they think they're done. And they're not. You saw all the stuff that you've purchased over the years. They're not done. And so we go in and we say, listen, Nancy, or Larry, right?
Yeah.
You've got this, but here are the rest of the parts and pieces that you need in order to complete the service. And in some situations, that's thousands, literally thousands of dollars, because if they have a plot and maybe a casket, they still have to do this part, the funeral.
That's what it
And
kept
so,
being
and so
over
they
the
don't,
years.
and back in the 90s and in the 80s, the counselors, my counterpart back then, they were just trying to sell what they could sell at the time, and we're not doing that anymore. Of course, that's what we do. We sell stuff. But I'm only going to sell you, Will is only going to sell you what you need or what you want. Because you'd be surprised how many people, well, I'd like a catered reception. I'd like flowers. I didn't know I didn't have flowers. How much are they? Well, $300 makes a really nice flower spray. I'll take it. So we put it on the computer just like he did. Well, you don't have the opening, closing. I need that. I might as well take it. I don't want my kids to worry about it. And so a lot of times people don't know what they need until the likes of me comes to their home, or you guys come in and I can show you what you have. And honestly, if you've just done a plot, I praise you for it, because most people don't even have that. I mean, you've done a really good job. Do you know what plot? You got these plots for nothing here.
Mm-hmm.
They were no charge because you bought a casket in a vault. Today, we don't give them away. They cost $3,295 each for one plot. So what you did back then, some people, I've seen contracts even today that are $150 for two plots, $75 each. But back in 84, back in 78, that might have been a struggle for some of the people that we deal with here on the west side here. And so I always praise people for at least taking a step in the right direction, even though they still got a lot to do. I was working with this one person who did 2,000 or 3,000 here. 4 or 5 years later, they'd come back and do 2 or 3 more thousand. And so it's taken them literally decades to complete their funeral. So what you've done, and she's blessed you with the gift of
I know,
all
because
that.
we just went through it.
Yeah.
It was like
Now my
18,000.
my question to you is this: have you done yours?
That's what he told you.
Yeah.
He wanted to get you into it.
Well, and that's a good thing to do for your kids and your spouse, your wife, because she's going to be in a position someday, if you pass away before she does, you're going to be in a position where she's going to be in the position where having to make all the decisions. You do a pre-arrangement, about 85 to 90% of the decisions are made.
But everybody's got insurance, no?
Yeah.
And,
And that's what we
didn't. In those days, we
And
didn't
so
have the money.
and the insurance people tell you, no, don't do that. That's really expensive. We
And
take care of that. You
and
get
you know
this
what?
big lump of money, and you take
Let
care
me
of
tell
it.
you about the insurance, because this is something the insurance companies don't tell you. First of all, if you have to go into a nursing home that's government subsidized, that's 90% of all the nursing homes in the country. They don't let you have insurance. You have to cancel all your insurance, because insurance, whole life insurance, even term insurance, is a spendable asset. And even though this is financed with insurance, we make it irrevocable if you have to go into a nursing home. So
Yeah,
if you,
so if you put someone in, they make you cash out your,
everything,
yeah.
$2,500 is all they let you have in cash in your checking account or savings account. And let me tell you, the government will find your money. They will find your money. So you say you could have $5 million life insurance today, but now if you have $5 million, you probably don't have to worry about, government subsidized funeral home.
Yeah.
But if you have 100,000, and that's a lot of money for a lot of people. That's a bunch of cash. They have to get rid of that, and they might have $5,000 or $6,000 cash value in there. They have to cancel that. They have to cash it out. They don't have that insurance to play with anymore. Their children and their spouses are stuck, literally stuck. When you purchase, some people come in here and buy a funeral for one person, a standard traditional burial, 15 to 18,000. Okay, casket, vault, opening, closing, everything.
Yeah, that's
book marker,
how much ours was
books.
in September 18.
Yeah. about 17 to 20,000. Let's just say 17 to 20,000 somewhere. That's for one person. Where are we going to come up with the money to do that? My mom, when she did her pre-arrangement, I'm trying to remember where I was going with that, but when my parents did their pre-arrangements, oh yeah, they may not have the insurance